Hi everybody. Welcome to Come On You Spurs TV. We couldn't do a 90 minutes unplugged at the weekend for technical reasons, so we're bringing you a match reaction today of the match between Tottenham and Crystal Palace that took place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Tottenham ran away 3-1 winners. To go over the match highlights, key moments, and the talking points, I've got Chuma on the other line. In the meantime, come on ye Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs, indeed. Welcome back. Chuma, how are you?
Oh, fabulously awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. We're going to look back at the match, the weekend between Tottenham and Crystal Palace. Tough match, but the scores didn't quite tell the whole story of the match, did it?
No, not at all. Angeball wears the crown at the Palace. He's done the double over Crystal Palace.
Angeball wears the crown at the Palace. That's a good one.
Angeball wears the crown, bro. It's it's where it goes.
Came out on top in the end. I mean, it was hard going for the first 50 or 60 minutes. Crystal Palace took the lead against one of player, the first and only shot on goal, and then I mean the whole bedlam of critics in the background. I mean, started to sort of really, well, I don't want to call it ugly heads, because fans are allowed to express their frustration. That's what fandom does. You're allowed to say what you don't like about the team, and that happens usually when you're not winning. And I guess that came to the fore a lot during that match. Talk us, before we go into all of that, if you're here for the first time, Chuma, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, of course. Welcome to Come On You Spurs TV, the Afrobeat section of the Lily White Nation. If this is your first time viewing this channel, or you've come back and you haven't subscribed, why haven't you? Click on the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you'll be alerted every time we put out new content. Like, share, and comment. Let us know what you'd like to hear. Let us know your thoughts on the games and our reviews as well. And as always, it's Come On Ye Spurs.
Oh yes, come on ye Spurs. Now, we went into that match. If you watch a preview, if you haven't watched it, you can go back and watch the preview of this match. And Chuma gave a scoreline of, was it 4-1? He gave us his potential scoreline. And I think it came out a little bit behind. I'd say 2-0 scoreline, which, okay, I guess if you look at the score, the goal margin, I probably came out on top of that one. What do you reckon? I mean, I'm sure guys will agree with me. Okay, we didn't score 3 goals, but there's a 2-goal margin in the end of it. So I expected we'll have a clean sheet. We almost did, thanks to the Eze boy. I mean, Eze is of Nigerian heritage, so he kind of
we give him a pass.
I know, right? Yes, so tough match, because Crystal Palace set up on a low block. We thought, okay, low block. We've seen that. I mean, it was almost as if it was a rehash of the game against either Wolves or Villa. Because if you remember, Villa didn't actually play low block. They kind of played mid block and play high line, But they set up very, very strongly in defense, and with Wolves, I mean, Wolves just. I mean, they had a counter-attack and two goals with, I think, maybe 3 or 4 chances they had in the whole match, and I mean, they came on top in the end. I mean, did we take the lead in that match against Wolves? I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And the second time it happened to us the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not that usual for us to lose from winning positions, and on the end, I think we've done that maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of the league so far. But yeah, I mean, what do you think of the whole match? I mean, just in summary.
Well, I thought it was an interesting matchup because the coach of Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner, who took over from Roy Hodgson, I respect him a lot. We talked about the fact he was Eintracht Frankfurt's coach. So he always lines up in a back 3 or a back 5. So we knew what he was going to do before the game started. I think the real issue was, would Palace come out to attack, or would they stay back, defend, and hit us on the counter? And the latter proved to be the case. We also have to be very fortunate that the other Nigerian player of Nigerian heritage, Michael Olise, wasn't playing, because Olise and Eze in Glasner's formation, I think they'll be really, really deadly when he comes back. So we had that advantage, because having, with all due respect, having the Ayu player, Ayu and Mateta up front, and Eze, it's not exactly something that would frighten your back four, especially having Van de Ven and Romero. Meanwhile, Romero, curious case, he hasn't had a single booking in 2024. He has learned how to sort of control his aggression, and we're
Let,
reaping the dividends.
let me just sort of hold you right there, because there's a lot of talk online about Romero's lack of yellow cards this year. All right. A lot of people are saying that he's holding himself in readiness for Matty Cash. Now,
Yes, no,
tell me, what do you think about that? Tell me, what do you think about that?
I've read about there's so much leading up to. I think everyone knows the game against Villa. We will do a review later on in the preview later on in the week. But everyone is looking at it as the Matty Cash revenge saga, where, for those who are unaware, Matty Cash over the last couple of seasons has injured Tottenham players, Matt Doherty, and then later on Rodrigo Bentancur. After Rodrigo Bentancur came back from injury, putting him on the sidelines further, and sort of slowing his progress. You could see it as well. Even in this game, Bentancur wasn't as efficient as he should have been, and when he was substituted for the first time, we saw him lashing out. He threw his boots down in frustration. But the thing I love about people like Bentancur is they channel that frustration to getting better at their craft. So his problem is, I think he expected to come back being Rodrigo, how he was 2 seasons ago, and it's not quite there yet. It will come, but while it's still coming, it's a thing. So back to the game. Tottenham did what we usually do under Ange Postecoglou. We had possession at one point, 82% possession. We kept recycling the ball, probing, like you said. Crystal Palace set up in a low block. They were very, very compact. They allowed no space in the middle for Spurs to move through. And, a lot of, I'd say, a lot of fans have been complaining that, Spurs aren't able to break down low blocks. And then you watch a team like Manchester City or you watch Liverpool, and it's the exact same problem. When these teams set up so deep and they block everything and make it so narrow, it's so hard to break them down. But the aim is to tire them, because you can't keep it up for 90 minutes. And I think that was also the same thing that happened here. We had a few breaks. Timo Werner was put through, and Timo Werner one-on-one. Timo Werner has the, how do I put it? I think he shares the same problem as Richarlison to a point. I think when they have too much time to think, this is just my personal opinion, when they have too much time to think, they overthink and they lose the opportunity. But when it's more instinctive, when it's cut back, cross, they are very instinctive players and they just score. But when you give them too much time, they are not one-on-one clinical. And Timo Werner decided, to round the to round the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper pulled out a save. So it's two things. One, he made the wrong choice, in my opinion. But you have to credit the keeper. He spread himself very, very well. But I can't imagine how the fans in the stadium must have felt, And at that point, some of my Chelsea brethren text me to say, now you know why we sold him. And
yes, I got a few of those as well. I mean, people from Chelsea telling me that, yes, I mean, now this is what you get with Werner, and I'm happy that he actually opened his accounts down the line in the match. But I mean, before we go into that, right? So we kind of had all the play, first half evens, and we didn't actually score a goal. I mean, second half, I mean, the thing opens up, and we kind of pick up a lot of speed. We can pick up a lot of pace. We become a lot more probing, and we had opportunities, but the things just got almost like the first attack they had. Who lost? I can't remember who lost the ball in Palace's half, and they came attacking, and Bentancur, I think, must have committed the foul on the edge of the box. Q Eberechi Eze, and okay, so that goal. I've heard all sorts of things about that goal. I've heard folks telling me that the wall wasn't set up right, the goalkeeper's position was wrong, someone stood in front of the Palace wall, all sorts of stuff, I haven't heard anyone say that was an absolutely magnificent free kick from Eberechi. I mean, I always say this: right? When you lose a goal, it's either due to brilliance of a player, errors, or a mix of both. In this case, no one has given Eberechi any credit for the brilliance at which he stood Africa. And I thought that was the key thing in that particular sequence of play. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. When they consider the free kick, the very first thing I tell in my head is, what are the odds that Ibere Eze will just curl this ball and score? I said, in my head, I said, whenever you have too much possession, you've had one or two chances or half chances. I think just before that, we had a breakaway where Emerson Royal won the ball. Kulusevski ran down the wing and used his right foot to cut in, and Son got it on a nice little semi-half volley, hit it on the ground, and he hit the post. So that could have been another chance to open the scoring. And it was a couple of minutes after that, Ibere Eze is on the break. Mateta fits him the ball. And to his credit, I think Bentancur was going for the steal if he could have just toe-poked it. But because, like I said, he's not exactly himself, he just mistimed it, and Ibere Eze won that free kick. In terms of how the wall lined up, everyone is saying it's the wall. So Vicario positioned the wall to the side of his near post, and then he was going to set up far post or the second post. And if the guy curled the ball over his wall, he would have covered it. But if he curled it round goal side, that's even easier for a goalkeeper, supposedly. But the goalkeeper's mind is always my near post or my closest shoulder. That is my fear. If he goes over the wall, I can't see it to know. And if he puts it top bins, as we all call it, the top edge, he would be finished. And I think it was an excellent free kick. There are not many players that can hit a ball goal side to where the goalkeeper is, and curl it with the same pace, the curl, and the power and the accuracy as well. To me, it was brilliant. Although the only criticism you could give Vicario, if there was any to be labeled on him, and much credit to our brother Falavi, who is a regular guest on the show, who I think he was not having Vicario's positioning, and he put all the blame on Vicario on the group. But Vicario took a step to his right just as that ball was coming to his left. That step, I think, cost him, because had he not taken that step a bit inwards and he was on his line as well, he could probably have stretched and palmed that ball. That's because we give him the credit, though. Vicario is a top keeper. I think Vicario could have stopped that. But I think it was the fact that he too, as a goalkeeper, was overthinking. If this guy goes over the wall, it's top bins. If he curls it round, let's see. And so he moved. That move, I think, that little semi-move cost him being able to stretch to stop that ball. But all in all, when he scored, I felt the same surge of frustration we all feel as Spurs fans. But then I said to myself, you know what? I already told you in the preview, they will score. But we score more. It's the mindset of this season. You score, Tottenham will score more. And case in point, Brennan Johnson comes on, which also, if I may toot my own horn as well, I said at the start that I would have preferred Brennan Johnson and Werner as my two wide players because of the pace. And I wouldn't play Kulusevski. I would drop Kulusevski and I would drop Emerson. And I would play Sarr as the right back. But Sarr comes on for Bentancur. Brennan Johnson comes on for Bentancur. Kulusevski now goes into the central midfield position. And you could tell Brennan Johnson was up for it. Oh, my goodness. I think I was really, really pleased with the young man because he's received a lot of flack. He's not a skillful dribbly winger. He's fast and pacey. And he's very persistent.
So for that first goal, I love his persistence to ensure that they forced them into that error that gave him the free rein to make the one pull the cross across, and the cross was inch perfect. It was inch perfect for just a Timo Werner tapping. And some people were sort of having a go at Timo, saying, "Oh, they thought he would miss from there."
A lot of things went into that move that people didn't see. So Firstly, it's credit to Brennan Johnson because Joachim Anderson is a wonderful defender. He's been linked to Spurs for so many seasons, and you would have felt, when in doubt, kick it out. But he wasn't in doubt. He thought he was in control of the situation.
Yeah.
But I always go back to playing football in Nigeria, or even with friends here. There's this word they always shout at: harass, 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 which means to harass the. once someone tried to call it, harass him, hold him, and he pressed him so hard, forced him into that error, and then went past him. And it was the second player coming through, Jefferson Lerma, who of course had words with Madison earlier on. He was a bit naughty. And Jefferson Lerma also had the opportunity to, when in doubt, kick it out. Yeah. And what he tried to do was flick it above Brennan Johnson. He tried to flick the ball. And Brennan Johnson just hit it and it stayed. Now, as Brennan Johnson got to the point where he could cut the ball across, Son came out at an angle to create an angle, but Son took out 3 defenders. Absolutely. So as soon as they moved, Werner also made the same run as Son, as in fake to go back, and then he ran forward, and then that just, it was beautifully done, winger to winger, which is Ange Postecoglou's whole thing. Ange also said early in the press conference, and if you watch the game as well, there was a chance where Werner got to the byline and pulled in this delicious cross, but nobody was on the end of it, which was much earlier in the game. But it was just brilliant to watch, and he wanted to celebrate. I was listening to his interview. He wanted to celebrate, but he forgot. Dude, it's 1-1. Son had already taken the ball. Let's kick it off.
We have work to do. Let's not waste time.
And then just, it was after that you could only see one winner, and then Spurs had a free kick, which Madison and Kulusevski tried to work to Emerson. Emerson tries to cross, the ball gets kicked out for throwing. Kulusevski comes across, fakes that he's going to throw the ball in. Emerson takes the throw, and then everyone thinks that's a hit and hope cross. No, he faked and then took outside of the foot, nice little mini Travella, crossed it in, and Romero, who had stayed up from the free kick, just bullied Joe Ward. I think also another thing is, I like Joe Ward, the defender for Crystal Palace. Just before, the camera has him doing this to his defenders: stay focused, stay in the game. And you're the one who, literally got bullied by.
I know, right?
Romero wanted that goal. And we saw the celebrations, the badge. Richarlison, Mr. I am injured Richarlison, running across.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. And the clincher was Mr. Son's goal. I thought that it was saying to Timo Werner, this is how you finish a goal like that. Come on, Timo. This is what we do. Break from the halfway mark. He was onside and he just ran through, and boom. Finished one angle, and the keeper was just stranded. It's just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
You're starting the story at the middle. You have to go back. Christian Romero passes the ball to Van der Ven, and you have to go back to watch that. Van der Ven sucks in the Crystal Palace player and just drops his shoulder and goes past him. It was. Oh, yes. If that was done by a midfield player, he sucked the guy in, literally switched feet, and boom, he was gone. He played the pass to Udogie. Udogie gets fouled, and Brennan Johnson touches the ball forward on the halfway line, and then Son is off to the races. And there's this wonderful statistic that when it comes to 1v1s against goalkeepers, that I think Son is either number 1 or number 2. I think Haaland has higher stats than him, but everyone, even this is also beautiful. Even opposing fans, I watched several other podcasts, and they're saying, "Look, that guy, that Son guy, 9 times out of 10, you know what's going to happen. 1v1 against your goalkeeper.
There's nothing about it,
It was inevitable. The Spurs fans are already celebrating. If you watch the camera view from behind him, they already said they knew what was going on. And I've been clamoring for. I love Richie. Everyone loves Richie, and I'm happy for Richie's redemption arc. But I still want Son to be central for me. I just think he plays that 9 in a way that Richarlison can never play it, and he's so deadly from distance, from in the box. He's just so knowledgeable a player that I think it's such a waste now at this stage of his career to play on the left. Someone said this is his Cristiano Ronaldo stage, which is when Cristiano Ronaldo stopped being a winger and just became a forward. That Son has earned the right to be central, and I think he does. So all in all, I think it's a dominant game from Spurs. It could have been more if we put away our chances, the Son chance and the Werner chance. It could have gotten my 4-1. I could have been very happy. The bookies would have paid out for me, but all in all, it was a good victory for Spurs.
Yeah, all in all, a good game. I mean, if you watch that match, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your comments on both our predictions and how the match turned out. And also, of course, I mean, what you saw of the match, the key moments and the key highlights that you want to share with us. Yeah, please subscribe, share, and like this edition or this episode of Come On Spurs TV. It's been great having you, Chuma. And yeah, we look forward to the match against Crystal Palace. Away to Villa. Now, the Villa match is going to be a 6-pointer decider in many people's opinion about who ends up playing Champions League football. And some people actually still say that we are still in title race. I don't know about that, but hey. It's still so many twists and turns to come in the league. And yes, thank you so much, guys. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.